Hawkman, if you haven't figured out yet, Hawkman is one of the most just confusing characters of all time. Like
I'll explain how confusing it is. His name is Hawkman, aka Katar Hall, aka Carter Hall, aka Fel Andar. Confused? Hold on tight.
AKA Charlie Parker Jr.
Charlie Parker,
AKA the Hawk God, AKA whatever the fuck you want to call him. Like, it's really just the most confusing thing in the world.
Depending on how you look at Zariel from Grant Morrison's Justice League.
How do you? I mean, he looks like a hawk.
No, he was designed. We'll talk about it in
the
episode, but he was designed as a replacement for Hawk.
Yeah, and it does. Like everything with Hawkman, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. It just that's the thing. That's the thing with Hawkman. It doesn't fucking last. So, all right. So before we get into this, we normally do this. If you leave us a 5-star review, read it on there. Did we get any new reviews on here? I know it's been a while. All right, no new reviews again. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. Search for Character Corner. Leave it on there. We'll read it on the air. You can also email us at mtrailerreviews@mtrnetwork.net. And if you have any suggestions, we get a lot of suggestions. Here's the thing. When you guys give us suggestions, because sometimes people give us suggestions, and I never want to shoot them down immediately, but I really would like it to be something that we can talk about for at least 45 minutes to an hour. Like some of these things,
I get characters. I'm like, that's a 5-minute conversation.
Right. It sucks, or this is, yeah. I mean, for some of them, what we might do, what they might be better suited for is if we do a comic book club and we just read the series that is there. Like if a character only has like one series, but that's the thing. It's like, or we'll do like a combined series. I forgot to mention one of the characters we're definitely going to do, the Summers Brothers, because you and
so right now, I know I joke about it sometimes. Like I have a weird brain. Any X-Men character you want to do, I need 24-hour notice.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
And that's it. I'm fine. I can do Havoc right now.
Yeah, it's not that hard to do these characters. I mean, those are the characters we grew up.
I mean, I'm dying the wool X-Men guy. Like that's my entry point into comics. Right. And meanwhile, Hawkman damn near became my exit point for comics. This is that bullshit.
All right. So, all right. Let me start with.
All right. So
Hawkman. I'll start. You literally go from the Golden Age. He starts in the Golden Age.
Let's talk powers.
Well, I'll get there in a minute. But with Kurt Hall, so I just want to set the. I want to set it up so people know that we're going way back for this shit. All right. So this is a character that's been there since the Golden Age with characters. So let's go with powers. You want to run through that real quick?
Sure. They vary. I'm not gonna lie, but all incarnations of Hawkman, they are connected to this thing called nth metal. It's spelled how it sounds, NTH, and it allows him to defy gravity, fly, and a lot of continuities. It makes him stronger as well. The whole suit that you see, like the weird bondage, semi-bondage uniform he's wearing with the wings.
I call it the He-Man. I call it the He-Man. The He-Man. The bare chest, the bare chest, the cross across. You know you know what I want to talk about bondage and it's the I want to show how masculine I am by baring my chest.
It's BDSM starter kit plus wings. Basically all of his uniforms.
Yeah.
But they can fly. They're weapons masters. Generally, Hawkman.
We're gonna be saying that a lot.
Generally, Hawkman's a reincarnated spirit, so he has the abilities and fighting prowess of 1,000 lifetimes. Generally,
yeah. And the cool thing, the thing to remember about the wings and stuff, the wings are just for steering. Like right. It's actually the harness that allows them to fly. And so the wing, because there's a couple of times in some of the issues we read where he doesn't have the wings, but he has the harness and he's using that. And the wings, the feathers get destroyed all the time, which I appreciate. I appreciate when he's using the feathers ones, because there's also times when he's not using feathers and they have metal wings. When they have the feathers, there's been plenty of times when they get destroyed. And I'm like, good, that makes sense because it's fucking feathers.
Yeah, right.
So, I use it enhanced strength. eyesight, because he's a hawk, so of course he would have enhanced eyesight. Duh. And then it gets kind of weird because...
Oh, then it gets weird. Okay.
Well, because it's kind of undefined what it can do, right?
Sure.
Nth metal turns into this thing where is it nth metal or is it ninth metal? I think I've seen it both.
I think that's going to be an issue, and I think it's traditionally an nth metal, but we'll talk about what Snyder's doing.
Oh my fucking God! Anyway, I was trying to see how long I could go before cursing. I already fucking lost. Like, look, so I'm hoping that this video will be able to get up on YouTube, just like we did the Insanity Check, where you guys could see me talking about this. And I was thinking to myself, I want to do other videos. Well, maybe I could start doing these videos where we kind of do a shorter version of the character corners with, like, Spider-Man in 90 seconds. So I was like, yo, I can do the first one on a Hawkman in 60 seconds. I was like, there's no fucking way.
Hawkman in 17 hours.
There's no fucking way.
You need a master's degree in genealogy, and maybe like a science isn't invented yet, to really understand Hawkman. Right.
But like I said, the nth metal can be used for different things, and you see that throughout. Like I said, when you get the Geoff Johns run, other characters, because again they start, and I don't think when they did the Golden Age, Carter Hall, that nth metal was from Thanagar, was it? I don't think it was.
I'm going over my notes.
I think they retconned that, but for the most part, you kind of recognize this is a metal from a different.
It was he just discovered it because he was the reincarnation of an Egyptian prince.
Yeah, we'll get into it in a second. So they just discovered but they later retconned that to what is the one I would say consistent thing throughout Hawkman. The nth metal is from the planet Thanagar, and you'll see that there are other aliens from that planet who have been able to manipulate nth metal and use other things, and it can do all kind of it can tap into your different memories. It can, like, it's literally the cheat code of DC.
It truly is.
It just whatever you fucking want it to be, it can be. It's Doctor Who. Whatever you want in the fucking TARDIS, it can do that because it's fucking nth metal, and we write it to do whatever the fuck we want to do. Like, that is what it becomes, and it's fucking ridiculous.
You all right, man?
We're still early. This is still.
We haven't even talked about an issue.
We haven't even gotten to his origin. So I had a couple of notes I want to get into before we actually go through some of the issues here. I have never written this many notes for a character corner before. Like, I'm at work just typing. Like, you see that gif of Kermit the Frog just madly typing? That was me at work, and my coworkers looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
He's getting a lot done today.
Oh, he's doing a lot of fucking work. Not realizing that I'm spending all this time doing shit on fucking Hawkman.
It took me 3 pages to chart 4 issues of Hawkman.
So, if you're a Hawkman fan, I am sorry for this episode.
If you're a Hawkman fan, write in. I want to know these people. You psychopaths.
So I have this out. The concept of Hawkman can be boiled down to, what if there was a superhero whose greatest power was that he died and was resurrected over and over again?
Which is actually a different DC superhero named Resurrection Man.
Right. But this is what that goes to my second point, is that Hawkman seems so redundant in DC.
Yes.
He's a bad Batman. He's a bruiser brawler who doesn't have any actual...
Remember, he was first.
That's fine. But he doesn't have any actual powers.
It's true.
He's a... DC already had a guy who can fly. He's also an alien from an advanced planet, Superman. We now have, granted he came first, but you have Batman, a guy who's with all this gear, who dressed like a flying fucking mammal. He's dressed like a flying fucking bird, but difference. And then also, when we get to the Silver Age, he becomes a space cop, which you already have a fucking space cop. Not only do you already have a space cop, you have a core of space cops in the fucking Green Lantern Corps. So at the end of the day, you're sitting there going, well, what the fuck is the point of Hawkman?
So you're telling me you didn't enjoy this?
let me bring it back here. You bring it back here. I do think that there's an interesting concept they could have stuck with that'd have been really good. I think the original idea of Carter Hall being resurrected from, Prince Khufu, this is this Egyptian pharaoh or prince, is an interesting concept. And this character that is repeatedly resurrected and born into these new lives, it can be an interesting concept that they could have stuck with. I have it in my notes. Like he could have been a Duncan MacLeod of the DC universe, where this guy who has all these past lives, all these remembering. There's parts when we get the Geoff Johns run because again it's Geoff Johns. He does a really good job of. I'm not even sure if it was Geoff Johns who wrote that, but it was a part where you have. I think it was Carter coming to terms with the idea of all his past lives, and every time I learned to love somebody, I would lose them. Like there's
Geoff Johns,
yeah. So there's a really and this is what we see through with characters like I love Highlander, and so like
there's an interesting take on Hawkman out there.
There is an interesting take on Hawkman out there. The problem is nobody at DC like this isn't a case of there being there being zero editorial control and nobody going hey jackass, stop fucking with that shit. Like I think
Hawkman, and I love that I haven't gotten into the character yet. Yeah. I think that Hawkman's indicative and kind of he's symptomatic of the disease of DC of being afraid of your past.
Oh, absolutely, hell yes.
And also being afraid to adapt your past. And then when they do adapt it, you're right, it becomes redundant. They even let's go to New 52. They had this like savage Hawkman thing.
I didn't read that shit at all. I'm letting you know right now. I took one look at it. It was like, fuck that. We're not doing that shit. Sorry. I put my fucking foot down. It was like putting out a no.
Like, it felt like a Lobo book. It felt like a 90s like it was all every time. You're right. Every time they give him a real book, it kind of becomes a pistache or something else. Except for when, like you said, John was on it and he was like, "Fuck it, I'm turning it into the weird. We're gonna see what's behind this weirdness."
Well, and even then, he just couldn't stick with it.
It's not sustainable. You can't build a book on that.
Right. I mean, they never stick with it. They never seem to have any idea what to. It reminds me of like when you were a kid and you got an injury and you had it scabbed over, and your mom was like, "Hey, don't pick at the fucking scab." And what did you do? You picked at the scab. That is what they did with Hawkman. Every time you seem to get it set together, they picked at the fucking scab, and you're just like, stop fucking with that shit. So, all right. Now that we get that out of the way, now we can actually go into Hawkman. So, again, we start in the Golden Age. So this is January.
We start in 1940.
And I'm letting you know right now, another first for the character corner. There's a lot of dates. We're gonna throw out dates here because it's very fucking scary. I got a goddamn timeline. Like I was not joking when the insanity check when I told you I was Charlie from It's Always Sunny with all the chart. Like, I'm not going to fucking lie. I had to do dates because if you don't do dates and write the dates down, you'll get confused. And it's the dates of when these issues came out. So, again, and again, the beginning of this starts off okay. So
it starts off like really straightforward.
Right.
This guy is a archaeologist and a museum curator. He discovers that he's also... Saying it out loud makes you feel weird.
Well, also, he's a white guy, too, so I got to throw that out there.
He's a very white guy. Because it's the 1940s and all your heroes were white guys.
Yeah.
But he's also the reincarnation of a ancient Egyptian prince named Khufu.
Oh, my God,
who was killed by a cursed dagger.
It just hit me. He's literally the embodiment of everybody want to be a nigga.
Look.
He's literally... He's the white person that goes.
Like, wait a second.
He's the white person that goes. He's the white person that goes. I have Indian in my blood. I have Indian in my family.
Dolezal.
Oh, Dolezal.
He's Dolezal.
We got Hawk Dolezal. I'm sorry.
Ruined this whole thing.
I'm sorry.
I was just trying to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Because you're right. It's what it is. Like that's and it's a 1940s comic with 1940s sensibilities.
Oh, absolutely. And just to let you guys know, I didn't read this either.
No, I have I've read some of them, and it is what it is. Like it's like reading old Batman and being like, well, look at this idiot. Like it's that.
And also, let me just say this right now because I think it's also important. And we're going to include Hawkgirl in this, although I'll say she's not as confusing. She's still confusing, but because she's a woman, she actually benefits from sexism here. Whereas they forget about her sometimes, and it's like that actually benefits the character. Like she avoids all the pitfalls of Hawkman because they literally don't know what to do with her character, and they forget about her and make her secondary until again Geoff Johns and David Goyer come in with Kendra Saunders. But anyway, go on.
Okay, so Hawkman in the Golden Age was your pulp hero, man. He did the stuff. He teamed up with Jay Garrick in the Flash. He was one of the first members of the Justice Society in 1940 Action Comics #3. He later becomes the chairman, and stays the chairman of the JSA. So you got to also think that in this kind of golden age of comics, you've got the Flash, you've got Jay Garrick, you've got Alan Scott, you've got the big three of the JSA, but the chairman was Hawkman.
Yeah. I mean, it was an important character. Also, another thing too, because again, this will play back into as we go forward here. The Egyptian priest that killed him with Hathset. And then at the time, his Hawk Girl was Shiera Saunders, and she was Lady Shayera, which also fuck them for all these names. They're different characters, but we're gonna make all the names kind of seem like the same, so that you get even more fucking confused.
It's supposed to make you feel like, no, I'm with you because it's ridiculous.
Well, no,
especially when you look at they do the flashbacks of the lives they don't live. You're like, wait, at one point your name was Brian Kent.
Well, here's the thing.
Fufu Carter Brian. What's Brian?
So here's the thing. I'm actually not even that. Fuck you is a preemptive fuck you. It's not even for this. It's 1940. Okay, he's Carter Hall. The Prince Khufu.
Superman's life have LL as either.
Right. She's Shiera Saunders, who a white woman named Shiera. Okay, whatever. And she was in Egypt. She was Shayera. Okay, fine. 1,500 years ago. It's 1940s. I'll let that slide. When I don't let it slide, it's when you get into. Continue. I'm sorry.
So in the early 50s, we've covered it on other character corners when we talk about Golden Age characters. The world stopped making superhero comics. There's a section of youth trials and other stuff like that. Yeah. So for 10 years, the character sits on a shelf. They're making horror comics, they're making cowboy comics, they're making romance comics. And when Julius Schwartz ushers in the Silver Age with the appearance of Barry Allen and Hal Jordan, we come back to the Hawkman concept. But he's no longer an archaeologist and you know what? Honestly, this is where they made the wrongest decision possible. Because you start with the Flash and Leonard did. They said, we're taking the names, fuck the rest of it, and we're just moving the concept forward. Hawkman did not at all the same thing. They turned Hawkman into a space cop, an alien policeman from the planet Thanagar with the exact same powers and a marginally different suit. Yeah. He came to Earth with Shayera, his wife, to follow a criminal and decide to stay on Earth.
Yeah,
they didn't take the names Carter and Shayera Hall.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I don't even think this is where they went wrong.
No, this is where they went wrong. You know why? Because they made them fucking museum curators. You know what Green Lantern and Flash decided to do? Those are old names, different people. Jay Garrick was a student. Barry Allen's a police detective. Alan Scott was a radio broadcaster. Hal Jordan's a test pilot. Oh, wait, your Carter Hall was a museum curator? Well, guess what? Fucking our Carter Hall is too. And we didn't even change the name.
Well, so this is why I say I don't think this was the mistake. And again, this is Gardner Fox, who created Carter Hall in the Golden Age. He also, with Joe Kubert, created Katar Hall in the Silver Age. The reason why I say it's not, I'm okay with this is if they stuck with this, it's fine. If they never tried to bring in that Earth 2, and even then, making it, okay, Earth 2, you put Carter Hall, the Golden Age Carter Hall, on Earth 2. You make Earth 1 this space cop who comes to Earth. It's still fine. You can still.
Ideally, it's fine. But guess what? We didn't name the new Flash Jay Garrick.
Oh, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like it just like you didn't need to make them Carter Hall and Shiera Hall as their aliases. You didn't need to do that. You didn't. All right. It's still salvageable though. Okay. So, but yeah, so you get this new Katar Hall on Brave and the Bold 34. He comes in, Thanagarian, and takes on the secret identity of Carter Hall. I think originally, I don't have the issues here, but originally he meets the original Carter Hall, who they put on Earth 2.
Okay, so yeah, that was after the Flash 2 Earths.
Okay, yeah,
and that's how they discover Earth 2, and they started the annual JLA JSA meetup. But prior to that, in the '60s, they cast Hawkman as the conservative counterpoint to Green Arrow.
Yes, thank you for that's my next yes.
And he's supposed to be the heel. You're supposed to cheer for. Think about it. Like, remember when this is written in the '60s? Who's reading these comics? Teenagers. Yeah. You're supposed to cheer for the liberal Green Arrow. Yeah. And it's another thing that I think was something that's a characterization that's always stuck with Hawkman.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So if you go anywhere and you read up on Hawkman and you ask about powers, they always go into, well, he's also, because everybody, master tactician. He can do, and like, I'm reading this going, no, he's not. Because he's a hot-blooded, hothead who does everything. All he does is smash things with his mace. Or when he has, because again, that's the other thing too. So Carter Hall had the mace and also had like axes and medieval weapons. And while Katar Hall does too, he also uses guns. So it's like, it's always kind of weird on that one. But I have in my notes, this new, the Silver Age Hawkman have now, he's like this, his ideology is weird. He's like this Blue Lives Matters Indiana Jones. And it goes back to what you were saying about, making him a museum curator doesn't make any sense. Because you think museum curator or, professor, you're like, okay, more liberal leaning, more understanding.
Appreciation for history and understanding of the same.
He's a thug. He is, without a doubt, a fucking thug. He is a menace to society.
I think he was a victim of the fact that Green Arrow they were trying to push this Green Arrow book. Mm-hmm. If you guys remember, like, the publishers of Green Arrow, they were big into trying to get into that liberal space as far as selling books, and they had to give him a foil in the JLA. Right. And so, while I think you're right, Hawkman was portrayed as an asshole, I do think he was sacrificing the altar to try to get Green Arrow over, if you will.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that in a way, you could do that with the Silver Age Hawkman because he was a police officer. He's a space cop. He's a police officer from a more militaristic world. But it just comes off weird that you have Oliver Queen, this billionaire. You have Bruce Wayne, this billionaire. Then you have the archaeologist, museum curator is the he's the hard-nosed brute that makes Batman go, hey man, might want to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
It just like pro brutality, pro invading civil liberties, literally shit. Because again, like, Batman is no stranger to this, and at this time, I don't think Batman is the Dark Knight that we think of today. But like, even the days Batman would go, hey, did you really just bash in the head of that petty thief? Hey man, you can't do that. Like, he stole a purse.
Because he's portrayed as this alien from an advanced society, but you're right. Even the Katar Hall, I love saying like that because it's so fucking stupid.
Right.
Incarnation of Hawkman, he used guns occasionally, but he still skewed towards these these old ass weapons.
He used what was it? A cutter? Katar.
You're
Yeah, Katar.
Wait.
He used that.
You have a spaceship, sir.
Right? He's just like
you got here by flying through space. Put down the axe.
You literally have space magic. Like you fly.
Your harness is space magic.
It can do whatever you want.
Put down the sharp stick, Hawkman.
And you were like, and you go like this is sociopathic behavior. No, I like to cut him to see him bleed. It's more personal that way.
It's the guy who's like, I could bomb him. That's too impersonal. Could you? A dull butter knife. That'll take a while. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him?
And I have to stare at his face as I do it.
Oh yeah, make sure he stares at my dead bird eyes in this mask. Which we'll talk about the suit later. Whenever you make the decision to draw it as like a dead-eyed, like he's wearing a hawk head, it terrifies me. It's the worst costume design in comics. Like, first of all, man. I know he can't see. Second of all,
oh my goodness,
terrifying.
It's just one of those things. Like I said, it's just a weird. It's a weird choice. Like I was reading somewhere else, they even say it was like, they put this in there again. Remember the time period. Like this is before the 80s. When we get to the 80s, we'll talk about Hawkworld and stuff like that and how gritty that gets. But this is
after
before
Crisis, baby.
Right, but before then, like you're dealing with a character who I saw it was written down somewhere. That was like, yeah, he was very brutal and he had no problem with blowing up a villain's base with the villain still inside. And I'm just like, so you mean he's a villain, right? He's not a good guy. Like,
so you're saying he's an asshole,
right? Like, and this is what I don't get, because later on, with the whole Batman Superman thing, Batman's whole thing is, well, we got to keep an eye on, the aliens can be dangerous, Superman can be dangerous. What happens if Superman ever goes off? You're literally working next to a fucking sociopath in Hawkman. Like, Hawkman is the alien you were worried about. This is a guy who comes from a war planet, and he likes to bash people's heads in. Like, I think it comes in his pants.
As you sit back and look at the concept, especially when you think that this Silver Age bent to Hawkman was meant to update him, keep him relevant.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. He was existed in the satellite era. They literally called it the satellite era of the JLA.
Yeah.
They lived on a fucking satellite, and he's over here sharpening sticks to go fight supervillains.
So
Firestorm's on the team. He can rearrange matter. Mm-hmm. Hawkman's got a hammer.
So at this point, you have 2 volumes of Hawkman already at this point. And it's important to note, it's not until you get to volume 4 of Hawkman that you ever really get Carter Hall being the Hawkman. So if you ever picked up before volume 4, and that's right. Geoff Johns and them, if you ever picked up a Hawkman book, Katar Hall is your fucking Hawkman, all right? The fucking crazy sociopath space cop is your Hawkman, all right? So this is where we start approaching. So there's 2 things kind of going on at this time. Again, you have also when we get the Katar Hall, you have Hole more. It's not Hall. It's HOL. It's all very fucking weird. And then you have her Shayera. Thal is Hawk Girl. She takes on Hawk Woman. Again, comes in with him. His partner. They don't start off as married couple, but then they become married. Hold
on. Oh, that's a bit. We're skipping a lot now, because you just. All right, so hold on. You're right. This is really bad.
And we haven't even got to the bad part. We haven't even got to the bad part yet.
The Halls, the Thals. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie. This can be hard to get your head around. What you need to know is that every time they tried to do a Hawkman book previously, it always folded.
Yeah. The
second real chance they had at it, they ended up folding in the Atom for the last bit of it, trying to boost some sales. Didn't work. Yeah. That's where you get the characterization of Ray Palmer and Carter being best friends in current books and continuity.
Yeah.
Then
the only person that can understand me is a tiny man
who can shrink away if he wants.
Right.
God, you're loud. We got the Rand Thanagar War in World's Finest Comics.
Well, I think
something that
wasn't. Is that before the Shadow War of Hawkman, or is that after?
That's before.
Okay.
Because that's when they sever ties.
Okay.
And then and they just say we're going to Earth forever. And then Shadow War, you're right, is when Thanagar tried to secretly conquer Earth. If you're asking yourself how a race of bird people could secretly conquer anything, it's a very good question.
Yeah, and that's May 1985. Yes. The Shadow War of Hawkman.
And mercifully, Crisis happened, or so we thought.
So, but even before we get, I just want to make a quick point about Shayera, Thal, Hall, whatever you want to call her. They never, and this comes back to the idea of Hawk woman, Hawk girl, having a little bit better of a history. They never directly link her to Shayera Hall outside of her using that as an alias during this time. So outside of her using that as an alias, Shayera and Shiera are two different people, and they, for the most part, they maintain that. And again, it's one of those things where you're like, why don't you guys just do what you did with Hawkwoman? Because you at least keep it fucking at least a little bit simpler there.
Because when we get out of Crisis, so Crisis in Infinite Earths, everyone knows what it is. It was the great first reshuffle of DC continuity to make everything make sense.
Which, by the way, fuck DC for all their crises. I'm sorry, it's too fucking much. Like you go, hey, what about Crisis? Which one?
I don't know. What do you say? What do you want me to say?
Hey, I'm just throwing it out there. You know. By the way, get a DC Unlimited DC. You just have to throw it out there too. So anyway,
they won't do it. They're too stupid. So a lot of characters got their history rewritten and folded on each other, but no one seemed to pay attention that they didn't do anything with fucking Hawkman. And so now you had a Hawkman who existed simultaneously in the 40s with the JSA and in the present day with the Justice League.
Like, how do you like this? This is literally like Home Alone, where they get ready for Christmas and they leave the kid in the house, and they go over
Kevin. Like, this is that moment.
Like he's fucking
someone
Kevin.
Was like, hey, I'm writing JSA. Okay, great. What character are you using? Hawkman. And wait, Hawkman's also in.
I'm using Hawkman. What Hawkman are you using?
Right? No. Crisis. They're the same Hawkman.
I'm using Carter Hall. Well, so am I. Wait, yours with the C or the K? Oh, there are two of them.
DC decided to solve this problem by creating a larger problem. Their problems were name was Hawkworld. I'll let you speak about Hawkworld.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to say. So after Crisis, before we get to there, right? So after Crisis, you have they bring in and they do the whole thing of Carter Hall being on Earth 2, the Golden Age Hawkman. And you have your Katar Hall on, I love doing this, on Earth Prime with as Hawkman. And again, like Carter Hall is in GSA. Carter Hall joins the Justice League and the Justice League International. Or so you think. Hold that thought, guys. Just hold that, because that's going to come back. So you have Hawkman Volume 2, and you have all this goes up, and it picks up after the Shadow War of Hawkman, right? And again, this is, I want to say that's like 1986. Volume 2 of Hawkman starts 1986. So you've got 1986, then you come in with Hawkworld, which is 1989. So I got to make this point. It's 3 years, all right? It's going to come back later on. It's 3 years with this Carter Hall as Hawkman, all right? So you get this book called Hawkworld, and it's 3 issues. Starts by, it's not even the John Ostrander first. He does a series off of it, but Tim Truman in 1989 does 3 issues called Hawkworld. And when you read it, you're like, oh, they're giving us Carter Hall's origin on Thanagar. They're explaining what it is, and it's like it's a typical 80s like grime book. It's so gritty. I never read like Judge Dredd or anything like that, but it like feels like Judge Dredd with wings.
I actually,
and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
Kind of like Hawkworld.
No, I'm not. Look, I want it to be known right now. Hawkworld, the 3 issues, and then later on, I can't remember how many issues does John Ostrander. Is it 9? It's more than 19. It's a
no. It's 32 issues with 3 annuals.
32. So it's 32 issues of Hawkworld. Let me tell you, it's actually good. I didn't read it all, but it's very intriguing. It gives you a lot of the information on this character that we've never gotten. All the joking we were doing a bit before about how Hawkman seems so like a sociopath. He's so pro brutality, all this stuff. When you read Hawkworld, it actually made me go, huh, that makes sense. I can see how this character would be that brute. I can see. I mean, when you're going through this, basically what you find out is he's tricked into by his arch enemy with a bath. I think that's how you say his name. So a shapeshifter on Thanagar who basically ended up tricking him into killing his father, killing his father. Had hatched his plan to blame Katar Hall's father for betraying the Thanagar people, and Katar Hall ends up figuring this out. But not before accidentally killing his father, and becomes the hero of Thanagar. Even though the Thanagar, government kind of was like, we need to get rid of this guy because it's kind of a problem, kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. And he gets sent to Earth to be the ambassador to Earth, and is treated like this, this hero. When you're reading this, it all feels like a retelling of his origin, and it's actually good. Yeah. It's good.
It's really and because it's Ostrander, he's able to do a lot of thematic things in there that you wouldn't expect in a Hawkman book.
Yeah, it's really good. It's gripping. Like I said, it's gritty. It took me a while to kind of get the writing style, not to try. It's just how it's a gritty book. Like it is. Yeah. It is there. It's written like some kind of noir, like gritty crime drama book. It is, and like they him and Shiera, they get to Earth, and they're so like they're to the part where they land in. It's not Detroit.
It's Chicago.
It's Chicago. Oh, even I knew it was some. I knew it was one of those conservative, like the place that conservatives always name when they want to mention like crime. So I knew it was either Detroit or Chicago. They land in Chicago, and it's like just crime, full of crime, and you got these two space cops with space magic wings and guns, and it goes exactly as you think it would go, to the point of the Chicago police going, you guys need to calm it fucking down. My favorite panel is when Hawkwoman is trying to go out in the field. Like they do tag alongs with the police, which is just fucking crazy. They get in trouble because they literally have wasted a couple other criminals. And so the police was like, okay, this is not going to stand. The public is looking at us like, how are we going to let these space cops come in here and do this shit? They're not even from this planet. So it's like, all right, you can tag along, but you guys can't carry you guys can't use your space weapons. So she's like, all right, fine, we'll use human weapons. She tries to go out in the field with a fucking Uzi, and because the chief goes, you can't use those weapons. So she's literally talking to these other cops, going, "Now I figured out how to do it. Like, I'll use the Uzi, and that'll be fine." The cop's like, "Okay, yeah, no, you can't use the Uzi. You can't go out in the street with a fucking Uzi." She's like, fine. So then she walks away. She's talking to the other cop. She goes, they're like, yeah, what are you doing? You know you couldn't use a fucking Uzi. That's fucking crazy. She goes, no. She pulled out like this 6-shooter. Like this, pull out a fucking Magnum going, no, but this is what I really wanted to carry. And the chief is behind her going, I'm still here. You can't do that either. So there's another panel with her like dropping all of these fucking weapons that she has on her body. And you're just
it looks like a goddamn clown car of weapons.
It literally, it's a scene you would see in any of those like 80s, early 90s cop comedy films.
It's Police Academy.
It literally is. It's
the overzealous person at Police Academy.
It is fucking hilarious. But and again, I really enjoy that, right? Until you find out that this book takes place in continuity.
Look, okay, so that was a decision they made after the fact, because the book ends with him killing Katar Hall. And I want to say this because I have read Hawkworld before. I read every word of it. Ostrander using outsiders to talk about like American society, it's super subversive.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you read it by itself, this is a Hawkman where Ostrander's just using Hawk to tell America about itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And he somehow got away with it for like 36 issues.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It is. Yeah. Yeah. So here's a little blurb I read and I wrote down. So this created several continuity errors because the new Carter Hall had only just arrived on Earth. Someone else had been the Hawkman previously. In an attempt to resolve the problem, it was established through retcons that the Golden Age Hawkman and Hawkgirl had continued to operate sporadically after the supposed retirement in 1951 through 1990s, and that Nth Metal originally came from Thanagar. The Halls, and not the Holes, joined the original incarnation of the JLA. Another Hawkman, Fel Andar, we'll get to that in a second, a Thanagarian agent, had been the one who had joined the Justice League during the 1980s, pretending to be a hero who's secretly spying on the League for its Thanagarian masters.
You could have just said it wasn't continuity.
That's all you had to do.
They could have just been like, and that was a great Elseworlds tale.
That's all they use. Do like Marvel does sometimes. Where it's like it's an Elseworld tale, but we're using certain elements from that story. Matter of fact, hell, they did it when we did Green Lantern. Geoff Johns does it in Green Lantern. Like when he does the Secret Origins and stuff like that. Like he retells the origin of Hal Jordan, but he basically condenses some of the older origin, and yeah, it's retcons, but it's enough there to make you go, it fucking works. Or it's not enough for you to go, but that doesn't make any fucking sense. You're just like, I'll go with it. This though, they made a complete fucking mess. So what you have here is, you have Carter Hall, the Golden Age Hawkman. He joins the Justice League in the 1960s and the GSA. It's fine. But like in what year? I think in because there was Justice League International number 25. This is where you have a Hawkman who's been a dick. Like you have Justice League International, which was a book that nobody really wanted. Yeah, nobody really wanted it. But you had this Hawkman in the book that just was kind of a dick. More of a dick than usual. More than your Carter Hall normal dickness. What they do, and they kind of reveal this, I think this is in Hawkworld, right? In Hawkworld number 23. They reveal that. So remember back when this is where it gets so fucking confusing. So remember back when I told you Hawkman Volume 2 started in 1986?
Yes.
And then the Hawkworld book started in 1989. So there's a Carter Hall already existing. So who the fuck is that Carter Hall, right?
Yes.
That Carter Hall was a Thanagarian agent called Fel Andar. And you find this out in Hawkworld number 23, where he's claiming to be the son of the original Golden Age Hawkman. So he's calling himself Carter Hall Jr. He joined the Justice League International, claiming to be the son of Carter Hall, claiming to be Katar Hall. But he's really a Thanagarian agent named Fel Andar. Oh, and yeah, of course, because there is a Hawkwoman at the time. That's his wife. Well, I can't remember her fucking name.
It was originally Sharon Parker.
Sharon Parker. That's his wife. That somehow
he brainwashes her into becoming Sharon Hall.
Yeah, he brains her. It's the dumbest shit ever.
Before you introduce the kid.
Oh, we haven't even gotten. Oh, we'll get.
People don't see this like, wait, is this real?
Oh, we'll get to the kid in a minute. So this is like, again, like you said, I understand your point about when they go to the Silver Age, they fucked up then. It was still salvageable up until the point they made Hawkworld continuity. Once they did that, Hawkman is irreparably damaged. There's no coming back from this point. Because what happens is, I'm making assumptions here and I'm taking guesses here, but I feel like if you're an editor at DC and you tell a writer, hey, you can't do that with Hawkman, they'll go back and look like, well, you let them do that with Hawkworld, so fuck you. I'm going to do what I want to fucking do. And the editor goes, all right, fucking, you're right. Okay. And it's just person after person just adds shit on top of shit on top of shit, and it becomes all bad, and it just gets worse from here. So, if you're keeping track of time right now, we have 3 Hawkmen
running around.
Well, now I guess technically 2 of them are dead.
Yep, sure.
Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. Fel Andar gets found out. He kills his wife, Sharon, and then goes back. So what happened was the Thanagar Guardian government, because they are literally like, they're the planet that needed to be destroyed other than Krypton, right? They are militaristic. They're spying on the Justice League, and they activate this sleeper agent, Fel Andar, to become Carter Hall, pretend to be Carter Hall Jr., and he ends up getting having a wife. It has a kid he doesn't tell anybody about. And when he's found out, when his wife finds out and rats on him, he basically kills her and then goes back to Thanagar.
Because she warns the man. She warns John.
Yeah, she warns John Jones. Carter Hall, the Golden Age Hawkman, is out there running around. He should be old as shit, but he's running around on Earth 2 because nobody fucking ages on Earth 2. And because at the end of Hawkworld, you say Carter Hall, he dies. Mm-hmm. Right? So he dies. Shayera, his wife, though, lives.
Yes.
Right. So she's still around. So Hawkwoman still around. The Silver Age, quotes, the Silver Age Hawkman is dead. Golden Age Hawkman is still around. And so is Golden Age Hawkgirl. All right. So they're all still around. This brings us to, I guess, 0 Hour 1994. Is there anything before you want to get to that?
Right. So before 0 Hour, Golden Age Hawkman and the rest of the JSA had been trapped in this space called Ragnarok, fighting the same fight over and over again. We've referenced it before in our JSA character corner. Yeah. And 0 Hour gets them out. Or no, they get out prior to 0 Hour, but 0 Hour, Carter dies in 0 Hour. It doesn't die, kind of. So he merges with Katar Hall.
Oh, wait. Oh, so we're actually going to talk about that now. Oh, so
I have to. He becomes Hawk God.
Well, but it's not just him, though, because this, again, comes in with the sexism. So does Shiera, Hawkgirl.
Sucked in. It's true.
So they merge, and 0, they merge the 2 Hawkmen, which, okay, fuck it, fine. But somehow, Shiera gets dragged into this. And again, the idea is, well, they're these aberrations in time, which again makes sense because they are.
Because it's DC's fault.
They literally are the aberrations in time. They are literally the things when you read it, it kind of reads like DC being very meta, going, "Yeah, these are the characters that are literally breaking our timeline," which is not wrong, but not Hawkgirl. Hawkgirl doesn't break the timeline. She's fine. She makes sense. So, and they don't bring in Hawkwoman. So it would make sense if you're going to merge all the Hawks, it would make sense to merge the Hawkgirl and Hawkwoman and Hawkman, right? But they don't do that because somewhat Hawkwoman, Shayera, is out there somewhere just being Hawkwoman.
She's on Thanagar.
Oh, she's back on Thanagar. Fuck it. But we're going to merge Hawkgirl and somehow in with Carter Hall and Carter Hall.
I did this to you.
Into a Hawk God.
That somehow spits out Hawkgirl's spirit.
Right.
Because she gets out, because like you said, she's not an aberration, and she ends up becoming a new Hawkgirl that appears in JSA, and we'll talk about that later.
Ooh. Lady parts. We don't want those.
But as a new Hawkgirl, the Shiera soul had actually...
Oh, no, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. No, because... then you get this Hawk, because so that's 1994.
I mentioned Hawk God. I've done my business.
You got Hawkman Volume 3.
Okay.
Right? And so I guess halfway through Hawkman Volume 3, you get the Hawk God, which doesn't make any fucking sense. But eventually he goes mad and gets thrown into limbo. So you get Carter Hall and the combination of Carter Hall and Carter Hall, and should be Shayera, Hawkgirl, and thrown into limbo, which is basically DC got tired of writing this mess and said, put him in fucking limbo. And that's what happens. 1996. So 1996, there's no Hawkman, there's no Hawkgirl, there is a Hawkwoman, but I don't even know if they're writing her any now. She might just show up every now and then.
She's off planet.
He's off planet. That's it. So now we bring in Kendra Saunders. You want to do that?
I mean, like, they tried to clean it up. This is them trying to clean it up.
No, this is probably I'll give it to him. We're entering into the Geoff Johns / David Goyer era, and they do the best you can, and they probably have the best written stories on this, although I'm going to say that it's also, I really hate Carter Hall.
It's true. By the end of Blue Lantern, you're going to hate Carter Hall. But there are good stories here. We're about to touch on one of them. So Kendra Saunders, like he said, is reincarnated. I think she's the great grandies of Shiera Hall, excuse me. And then she slowly realizes that she has Shiera's memories. Well,
what happens is, and I don't know if they admit this in the GSA secret files. Number one is when you get her first appearance. Basically, Kendra commits suicide.
Right.
And she dies, and she's reborn as Shiera, who thinks she's Kendra. But her uncle, is her grandfather or uncle? Speed Saunders. Can't remember.
I think grandfather.
Grandfather. He immediately realizes that, wait, that's not my granddaughter. She had different color eyes. Because, fuck it, whatever. All right. So, anyway, continue.
And so she joins the JSA as they get everything started back up. So if you're reading the rebirth of the JSA, you're like, something feels off. They had a chairman, can't remember the name. So, of course, Geoff Johns, who loves everything Silver Age, decides to find a way to bring back Hawkman, but in a way that makes, I want to say sense, but it's not true. He tries real hard.
He does the best he can.
So Kendra ends up transported to Thanagar. And there's like an evil alien who no one's heard of before, who is not part of the established Hawkman mythos.
Listen, just roll with it. Just go with it. Like, I literally reading this going, what the fuck is... Oh, fuck it. Okay.
Whatever.
Look, at this point...
literally Onimar Sin. Sin is the last name of this character. It's amazing how little they try in some aspects of the story.
Fucking... Hey, what are we gonna call this guy? Fuck it. I don't know. Sin? Fucking good enough.
Isn't that too on the nose? We've got Sinestro. Fair enough.
Here's the thing. At this point, if you've been following Hawkman and you've literally been clamoring for Hawkman, at this point, they could have put was it Puppy Baby Monkey from that fucking commercial? They could have put Puppy Baby Monkey there, and you would have been like, fuck it, okay. I'll go with it. Okay. Shit.
So the high priest of Thanagar looking for a way to stop this ravaging alien, and they use Kendra's connection to Carter to bring him back to life. But this is a Carter Hall that has the memories and experiences of every incarnation, including Katar Hall, for reasons they never actually explain.
And he's in Katar Hall's body.
That's all. Yeah, he retained some physical characteristics from Katar Hall, but he knows he's Carter.
Yeah. Basically, he was like, and you know the thing I love about it though is, and I'll give it to Geoff Johns and David Goyer, because I think they were co-writing some of these issues.
Yeah.
They don't run from the fact that this is stupid, and so they have other characters going, doesn't make any fucking sense. And the greatest character they have doing that is Kendra. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like Kendra.
Yeah, and then positing where they gave Carter Hall all his memories, and Kendra just got none of them.
Yeah, that was.
It's great because it starts off as this like creepy storyline.
Starts off, it's there for a long time.
Near the end, they do a better job of the reconciling and making it kind of come full. So I come around on it.
Right.
But it opens up as like this old guy who's got centuries of memories of being in love with this woman, and a girl who's about 19 who wants nothing to do with it. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And at one point, I love it. Ray Palmer calls him out on that. He's like, dude, how, like, she's like 19, and how old are you? He's like, well, the doctor says I'm 25. He's like, he was being generous. You're
Yo.
like 35. Like they literally call him a pedophile. Like it is great. It is some of the greatest shit ever. But the reason why I actually like this, because it goes back to what I was saying before. The interesting story that there with Hawkman is the story of him being this reincarnated version of, Prince Khufu, and then them having all these previous lives, and them literally being, and this is where you get the being hunted by half set throughout their past lives. Like they like he finds out that they're destined to die. Like he eventually finds his love. Him and Kendra come together, and they are destined to die at the hands of half set.
I love this because you're right. It goes back to the original origin, 1940s origin. It's what Johns did something in, we talk about Green Lanterns. He kind of marvelized this character.
Right.
And said, I'm not going to create something from whole cloth. I'm going to take everything you've been. He literally takes everything Hawkman's been and throws him into Katar Hall's body.
Yeah. And then you get some of the interest. Like there's one with, where you show him being, was it Nighthawk? At one point in like the Wild West, and him being this character, you see a couple. They don't, and this is where I think that they failed Hawkman. There are some really interesting stories you could tell with him and the ring with Carter Hall and Shiera Hall in their other previous lives as other characters. This is a character that has an opportunity to be such a diverse character because they were former slaves. They were aristocrats. They were like they're you can go throughout all these different things, and no matter what they are, they find each other. They end up when they find each other and they fall in love again. That love is cut short because they're killed by Half Set, who also has this urge to seek them out and kill them, and that is their curse. Like there's a really really interesting story here, and outside of Geoff Johns. I feel and again later on in the Hawk Girl run when they finish the story, they go back there. But I always feel like they kind of cut that short. Like that's the interesting story here. That's the interesting character. There's so much you can do with a character that's literally been through everything, and you can make anybody in any race.
That in Johns' run on both JSA and the Hawkman book that launched out of his reincarnation, I think that you kind of saw flashes of it.
Oh, you do. You get flashes of it, and it's like
I think the book that you and I would love to read is a harder book to push than what they did.
Oh, absolutely, it is. And
like I love how you're able to take some of those notes that we talk about, like the Hasset thing, and incorporate them because the Black Adam story gets rolled into Hawkman's.
I was just about to bring that up. They bring in the idea that Hawkman was Tet Adam, and he was a champion for Khufu and Shayera at the time. And he was around when they found the Nth metal and all this other, so there's a history there with him and Black Adam, which comes into later on. And again, we're now entering the place where if you listen to our GSA character corner or the Black Adam character corner, my favorite, you'll see some of the stuff where you get the part where Carter comes in bloodied and takes over as being the chairman of the GSA so that he can combat Black Adam, who has taken over Kandahar, and they're like Kondak, and they're like, yo, listen, we're going in there, people die, and it does not go well
at all.
Because again, you get back to the idea, like what I love about in Geoff Johns' run, Carter Hall is not a likable character, and I don't mean
because,
that like.
But they did it in a way that made it more sense than I think in the past.
Well, no, absolutely. And my idea of it, and the reason why I like that he's not a likable character is because you later find out why. Because he has all his memories.
Yeah,
and so,
he's the old man who's literally seen it all.
Yeah, he's lived. Like there's one issue where they show him, and it's like a one-off issue in Hawkman where he goes off to Germany and he's literally going back in this like tavern. And he has a drink there, and he's remembering it. You find out this is a tavern that he built with his dad, and is him again. Like, listen, I always lose the people that I'm close to. Him also at one point, because again, up until this point, he's been pushing Kendra's like, you're the love of my life. We belong together. Like it's literally the creepiest shit ever. And you're like, dude, even even Ray Palmer's like, hey, dude, you got to fall the fuck back.
Fall back?
Fall the fuck back.
Read,
like this,
hey, Carter, read the room.
This is right.
Read the room.
She looks at you like you're crazy because you fucking are right now.
You sound crazy.
She's like fucking crazy. She doesn't have her memory. She doesn't remember any of this stuff. He's like, but we belong together. It's you know what it is? It's literally like every serial killer you read about going, but I love her.
It is that, but it's also the guy who's read the end of the book.
Right. So, and I think that's where the writing that Geoff Johns...
That tension's the most interesting part about this run.
Right. So what ends up happening is he ends up realizing he's like, okay, I'm going to give her space. He starts trying to date other people, and it doesn't work out really well for them either. Then he also comes to the realization that the prophecy is that once him and Shiera come back together and they're and they're back in love together, that's when Half Set comes after them and kills them. So he gets this idea of, okay, if I keep her at arm's length and we just remain friends and we don't have this bond, then we're not going to be destined to die. Because again, going back to what I said at the beginning, there's a character whose superpower is to die. He is like, when you get to the Carter Hall Golden Age, he is destined to die. That is what he does. His history of the character. All right. So it makes this really interesting story where you have Kendra, like once Kendra starts to realize, she starts slowly getting some of these memories back. She starts, she slowly starts remembering things. She starts getting the feelings back. And as she starts trying to get closer to Carter, he's pushing her away because he's like, he now wants to protect her. It's all this stuff. It's really good, right? There's times in there where he lies to her. He's like, you're treating me differently than you would treat Shiera. You wouldn't do that to her, so don't do that to me. It's literally watching two people fall in love again and learn to, they become partners, they become friends, then they become lovers. It's a really good story. And like you said,
really good story.
It's a really good story. And it's the best Hawkman story they've told. What's better?
I'm really, we're about to talk about it, but I'm a huge fan of what Charlie did with Charlie.
Oh, okay, you're right. So I'm including. So
as far as long form storytelling, yeah, you're right.
So here's the thing, and Geoff Johns and then they end. I can't remember what issue he ends at, but I would say the rest of Volume 4, and going into Hawkgirl, it's good enough. It's not bad. It gives you a complete story. Yeah. And so you want to go into the Charlie Parker thing.
So, in the 70s, it was, or I guess like 80s, when the new Teen Titans came out, it was kind of in vogue to give every hero a junior partner. And Titans had a partner who, how do I put this? The Titans had a member who was Hawkman's junior partner, Golden Eagle. He gets this armor through helping Hawkman fight off, I think, Shadow Thief one night in the museum. He puts on he ends up giving Charlie a suit of armor to fly as Golden Eagle. Spends months training. He's basically his Robin. Becomes Titan West with Lilith, yep. Hawk, Dove, Beast Boy, Bumblebee, others. And there were a couple teams with East Coast Titans, but they disbanded them. In reality, the Titans West book just was never going to sell that, or Titans West was never going to sell that good.
No.
Golden Eagle went in retirement, and then the Wildebeest Society thing happens, and we've talked about it in Teen Titans Character Corner, or Comic Book Club, I should say. The Wildebeest ended up killing Golden Eagle. He was kind of the red shirt death to show that the Wildebeest mean business. He didn't just kill him; they strangled him with a wire. It's a very graphic, early '90s extreme in big letters death.
I think we covered that. We covered that in the Teen Titans Character Corner.
We definitely did.
Yeah, we did. We definitely was like, oh, this guy. Okay.
So, and to this point, Charlie Parker was just an orphan kid who fell in with drug runners, who cleaned his life up after meeting Carter Hall Hawkman, who then died, choked to death by a member of the Wildebeest, so the Titans would know they mean business. And that's Golden Eagle.
Right.
in Volume 4, they make Golden Eagle awesome.
Yeah.
Because he sucked previously.
Yes.
The throwaway Titan who was boring as shit.
Mm-hmm.
They made Charlie Parker fucking awesome. Because they revealed that he did not die when choked by the wildebeest. No. His actual birth father, Fel Andar.
Mm-hmm. Remember
from earlier in this confusing ass podcast.
Yes.
The undercover Hawkman, the one who was an enemy of Earth.
The one that called himself Charlie. The one that called himself Charlie, that called himself Carter Hall Jr., who said that he was the son of the original Hawkman. Yes.
What's revealed is that Charlie's actually the son of Fel Andar.
Yes.
His Thanagarian name is Chal Andar, which lazy.
Of course, because
he's a hawk. He's lazy.
Like when it comes to names, that's the one. They are lazy as fuck.
It's like that Rick and Morty. Wait, Coach Ferratu?
Yeah,
he was the vampire.
Yeah, like
you just name yourself Bill James. Jesus.
Right. Well, you know what gets me about it is they get super complicated when it comes to the history of a Hawkman. When it comes to names, it's like, oh, fuck it. I'm so worn out from coming up with this history.
Throw in an apostrophe and take off a consonant.
Right. Let's just fucking throw it out there. We fine.
Out of here. So what happened is after Fel rescued Charlie's life, Charlie began meeting his true father. He saw Carter Hall's perversion of the Thanagarian legacy that he had been chosen to uphold. So when Carter Hall comes back from the dead, Charlie begins orchestrating this plan.
It's a long con.
It is the longest con possible. But he manipulates several of Hawkman's unimpressive rogues gallery.
If you notice, we have the only character we really brought up with Beth and House Set, because everybody else is like, fuck it.
You ever heard of Lion Mane or Fadeaway Man? Didn't think so. Lasso or Hummingbird? Doesn't matter. They don't matter. What matters is Charlie is able to leverage Carter's remembered affection for him into a situation where he's now Golden Eagle again. He's helping out. He's the third Hawk. But he then uses a villain to brainwash Carter to beat Kendra nearly to death.
Yep.
He then is able to orchestrate what the storyline is called the death of Hawkman. And you think that Hawkman's dead. But what you forget is that one of Hawkman's sons, because of many lies, because honestly, you know what? I skipped this part on purpose, and I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to mention his son one time. If you say the words Hector Hall to me, I might fight you.
Oh, I thought we were going to do that afterwards. I thought we were going to do that afterwards. So
the hell we are.
Yeah, Hector Hall.
I don't have time to do Neil Gaiman tonight.
Dr. Fate.
Oh, and one's the Dreamless, bro. Like Dream.
Yeah.
Like Neil Gaiman. Yeah. Anyway, his son's Dr. Fate because Hawkman.
Fuck it.
And they let him fake his death to Charlie. Charlie then dons a modified Hawkman suit and revives Kendra, and they go out as the new Hawkman and Hawkgirl. But because he's crazy, he snaps, reveals his plan to Kendra, and gets the shit kicked out of my Hawkman.
Yes.
Like, it's like, and I know it's this Shakespearean build and like all this betrayal and the false son, the true son of the false hawk. Like, it's all this stuff, and it's the Thanagarian legacy, and it ends in a goddamn fist fight.
Yeah.
Involving Hawkman breaking Charlie's arm and smashing his face into his own spaceship.
Yes. And then sending him back to Thanagar.
Bruh.
Yeah, no. Like, listen, when it comes to brutality and being brutal, you got to get the leg up to Hawkman. Carter Hall that's his thing. He knows brutality. He might not know a lot of other shit. He knows how to be brutal.
He really does. And he does it. He's almost to a science at this point. And then we kind of reach like more stuff happens with Hawkman.
So yeah, so you get I guess because the Rand Thanagar War happens. It feels like this is something that's been happening the entire time. It feels like this has been happening since the Silver Age. Like it's one of the things that we've been talking about for forever. He goes back to Thanagar. He stays there. Hawkman Volume 4 becomes Hawkgirl.
Yep.
It was
issue 50.
Yeah, issue 50, and she goes on for a while. I think in issue 60 or around then for Hawk because it keeps
he comes back in 59 and 60.
He comes back in 59 and 60, but they keep the original number for Hawkgirl. In 59 and 60, Kendra and Shiera, because again, remember she's kind of both, come together and they defeat Half Set. And Carter's there too, but it's really about Kendra and Shiera doing this. And I kind of like it because what they do is they kind of set up Kendra to being the wild card. They set up Kendra to basically being the thing that's different that can break the curse that Shiera and Carter have been going through with they come together, they fall in love, and they're killed by Half Set. So she defeats Half Set with the help of Shiera, and Shiera basically, when this is over with, she supposedly leaves her body and leaves only Kendra. That's how that's how that's supposed to end. That's how it should go. And now you have Kendra and Carter, but Shiera has moved on. But because DC can't get out of their own fucking way, that doesn't last. But anyway.
I'm willing to skip ahead to Blackest Night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I have my notes.
They kind of put the final bow on Hawkman in that, and I'm going to steal a Batman quote about Superman here. The most interesting thing you ever do is die.
That's his superpower.
His superpower is he gets his ass kicked and dies a lot. So, Blackest Night, we covered in the Green Lantern book, or Green Lantern character corner, excuse me. But it's when the dead are brought back to life by these black rings, and they have they want to kill people who will give an emotional response to charge their power battery. So Ralph Dibny and Sue come back from the dead as zombies and murder the Hawks.
Now here's the thing. All right.
Okay.
Out of all, when you're doing Blackest Night, and listen, I like Geoff Johns, but here's the thing: if you're gonna murder some characters, how about picking the characters that whose whole existence isn't to be murdered?
Oh, it's the murder scene, which by the way is fucking graphic. It might as well say the words "well, duh" at the end of it. Of course, we're gonna kill the Hawks. It's what they're here to do.
All I needed was somebody like a fake thought bubble going. But Half Set is supposed to be the one that kills me. But not like this. It's just God, it's so funny.
And with her dying breath, of course, Kendra says she loved Carter.
Right.
I don't know what the plan was.
Well, that puts you ahead of everybody else.
Because they bring him back.
Because why the fuck?
End.
Because why the fuck not? Yeah. So Brightest Day, they bring him back.
But they don't bring them back because it's not Kendra, it's Shayera for no good goddamn reason.
Exactly. Because remember when they did Hawkgirl, when they switched over the book from Hawkman to Hawkgirl, Kendra was left, Shiera was gone. And even at this point, if you have with her dying breath, Kendra saying, "I love you" to Carter, again, that still makes sense because, again, you start off hating Carter going after this young girl, Kendra, but as they go on, they literally build a friendship and build a partnership and come close. You're like, she does learn to love Carter, and there's chemistry there. That makes sense. Why would you go you got 1 foot out? You could almost say you're up 28-3.
Yo, really? Wow.
I was waiting for
that. No. That's okay. Wow. Anyway. Wow.
That's me striking back her and doing this fucking character corner.
That was fucking uncalled for. That was. Wow, I don't even tell you. So after they bring him back, there's a Brightest Day. It's not great. I don't know what the point was. They end up killing Shayera again.
And we talked about that. We were like, listen, we're not really satisfied with Blackest Day. I feel like in Brightest Night, from Brightest Day.
I know what you mean.
Blackest Night and Brightest Day. I feel like you could see this. This is where you just say it just got out of control. You know.
Well, you can see where all of a sudden they decided we're doing New 52.
Right.
Because I think there was a plan because the entire thing about Brightest Day was that there were these elementals, and it ends with Shayera being revealed as the air elemental, which coincides with exactly 0% of her background. But whatever.
Fuck it, right?
New 52 happens.
Does it?
I didn't read it.
I didn't either. I saw Savage Hawkman. I read some issues and was like, I'm not doing this.
I'm going to say this right now. And I'm someone who's followed Tony Daniels since he used to be a staffer at Wizard. I think he's an interesting artist. He has flashes of real brilliance, but I think kind of ham-fisted. He is a fucking terrible writer.
Tell me how you really feel.
Did he write this? Who wrote this? I think he wrote the New 52 version. It also doesn't matter. That's not. I think I'm mad at Tony Daniels or something else. Anyway,
you just had to get that out there. It's fine.
He's on my shit. I think I did. I think I read his Deathstroke stuff. It was terrible too. But the Hawkman. So I read enough. The Hawkman in Savage Hawkman is Katar Hall, who lives under the alias of Carter Hall. I shit you not.
Cause we don't learn from our fucking past.
Even better. So eventually, there's a storyline called The Death of Hawkman. I didn't read it because I assumed it was not going to last.
Oh, it was Rob Liefeld who wrote this.
That's why I didn't.
Yes.
That's it. There's your answer. That's why I'm so mad at that book, because Rob Liefeld's art physically hurts me.
Yeah.
Go find me Rob Liefeld drawing a foot. He admitted he's not good at it, and he's never drawn one in a comic. It makes me sick. Anyway. The real reason we do this entire podcast, the reason I'm here, the reason I'm trying to educate you about this character is because Scott Snyder's doing an event this summer. It's called Dark Knight Metal. And the descriptions of it are the most metal fucking thing I've ever heard.
When have they already started coming out with issues?
The first two preludes have dropped.
Okay, I might have to grab those.
Oh, you need to.
Because it's Scott Snyder, so you have me as Scott Snyder, yeah.
Because at the core of it is the idea that nth metal isn't nth metal. It's ninth metal. It is one of the fundamental forces of the universe.
Fuck it.
And why has it been hidden? And why has it been weaponized so many times? And if you read the very first, I think it's called The Forge, you get the real Carter Hall entering DC continuity. And I think they may have finally gotten it right.
Right, because what they do, because before we get into this, because after New 52, there is no Carter Hall in the
Katar,
DC.
and Carter's the cover.
Right, it's Katar, and they even do and I think they got rid of it because they did another Death of Hawkman run last year.
Right before, it was to clear the table for metal.
Right, that kills off Katar Hall. So you're left now with, you're able to bring in a Carter Hall, and I'm assuming Shiera Hall.
So these are light spoilers for The Forge.
Mm-hmm.
But you see Carter investigating metal. So this metal, this ninth metal. And you see him interacting with what they call a group of the 13. They're immortals. In the group, you spot Ra's al Ghul. In the group, you spot other notable immortals. It's very interesting that the Halls are one of them. They retcon the Blackhawks, who have been under the supervision of Carter and Shayera in the 40s. They do all these things where they kind of tying DC history and mythos in a post-rebirth world to what we know. And that's why I'm really excited that not only is it going to be a great event, but I really do think that Scott Snyder's got a Hawkman story in him, and he's about to tell it. And I'm pretty excited about it because I don't know when this drops, but the first page of Metal ends with an appearance of a character who we're not going to talk about today, but it's tied to everything we're talking about today. And if that sounds like a tease for you to buy Scott Snyder's book, of which I have no financial gain to give you, you're right. That's damn right what it is.
Well, it's Scott Snyder. I'm going to buy the book anyway. So. You have me as Scott Snyder.
That's a non-issue.
Right. You have me as Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo.
Oh,
it's the good. They're back together.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm in. If you read the Batman series, then you got it. Yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
The liquid version of the ninth metal is Dionysium, which is the pit that Bruce and the Joker fell into at the end of Batman. They've been planning this for over 7 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. This is going to be good.
I was like, I can't wait to tell this. This is why it's all going to be worth it, Kriss.
I see. I now see how you got caught into doing
It's like,
this.
you called me. I think I put the book down. You're like, what would you do? I'm like,
Yeah,
Hawkman.
yeah. I was like, why would you want to do a Hawk? Like, out of all the fucking characters, even like I'm not even the DC guy, but even I know Hawkman has the most confusing history in the world. So, anyway, all right. So, that takes us to where we're at now, and that's Hawkman.
I'm tired.
Yeah. Like I said,
Metal drops on Wednesday, August 16th. If you're hearing this after this, go buy that book. If you're hearing it before it, make sure you pick up that book.
yeah, I'm gonna go and make sure I put in my subscriptions.
Get the two lead-ins too.
I'm gonna get them tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and get them tonight. Good. So, but yeah, Hawkman. There you guys have it. All the Carters, and again, it's just this
if
is my
your head hurts, imagine us doing all this reading.
I can't wait to get back to Peter Parker.
Everything seems so much simpler on the Marvel side of the street, doesn't it?
Well, I think it's because, and this goes back to, I think this is why that Rebirth has been fun to read and has been good. They're not erasing their history, and that's what makes Marvel good to me. Is I can trace a character from beginning to end, and more or less a straight line with Marvel. Even when they retcon things, they don't completely erase it from the timeline. There's also not, and there are multiple dimensions in the Marvel universe, but not to the level of DC, where DC is like, oh, well, we're going to do another Crisis, and we'll wipe out our entire universe. It's just like...
It's kind of the point, if you say the C word around me, I start looking for flashes to protect.
Oh, my... Right. Where the fuck is Barry, Wally, or Bart?
Everyone,
stop.
Stay with your Bart. Stay with your buddy.
Yeah.
Barry with Jay, Wally with Bart.
Buddy system. Matter of fact, no. You got to put a flashes with other non-flashes because they can't be.
I'm giving them a bigger target now. Aren't I?
Yeah. You can't trust them to be together. You can't trust a Flash with a goddamn Flash.
I'm gonna see every member of the Flash family with a member of the Bat family because they never die.
You know what? We got a little bit of time before we wrap this up. I just want to go ahead and throw in my little. We'll do this real quick. Dpalm didn't know I was going to do this, but since we're talking about Flashes, got to mention right now how stupid of an idea is a Flashpoint for a solo Flash movie.
Have we not talked about this?
I think we've talked about it before, but not since they announced. Maybe we did it on the Sandy Check a little bit, but not since they like. It's just the more and more I think about it, I'm like, what are you doing? This is the dumbest idea ever. It's not even a Flash story. Flashpoint is not a Flash story. It's only a Flash story because it's got Flash in the name, and Barry Allen has to go back in time. Other than that, it's not a Flash story. Fuck.
He's our viewpoint character in this alternate universe.
You don't do a solo movie off of that.
I couldn't agree more.
Jeez, I'm fucking. Oh.
I don't Kriss. You know where I stand on this shitty story.
I know. I'm just
I'm the last person to be like, oh, this is a great idea.
I know.
No, they've made a huge mistake, a huge calculation, and it's not going to happen because they don't have this director. Do they have a director?
No, I don't think so. Because every director comes in and goes, hey, so what movie we're doing? A Flash? Oh yeah, let's do the Flash. Hey, what story are we going to do? Flashpoint? Oh, thank you very much, but no, thank you.
Out.
I am out. I'm not doing
that movie is not coming out before 2020. If it comes out, the over-under is June 2020. I'm taking the over.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. All right. So we'll be back hopefully in a couple weeks to do the rest. We're gonna wrap up Peter Parker. We're going to kind of speed through after we get to the Clone Saga Part 2, we're going to speed through the rest of Peter Parker because we kind of already covered it with
in the Rose
when
Gallery.
We did the Rose Gallery. But we'll speed through the rest of Peter Parker, and then we'll move on to either Milestone or we'll probably do. I think we do the Batwomen, Bat characters.
Yeah,
because we haven't done some ladies in a while, and we'll do the ladies, and we'll get through all of them. And I think it'll be some fun reading, to go through there.
More fun than this.
Way more fun than this. Listen, friends don't let other friends write Hawkman drunk.
They all write Hawkman drunk.
I think they do, though. But friends don't let other friends do that. Stop doing that shit. So, anyway, folks. Again, hey, listen. It's podcast week on the MTR Network. You might get this episode after podcast week because I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to step on. I actually don't want to step on what Dpalm's doing with the unanimous decision. We have another episode coming out. We're recording this on Monday. We already have one episode coming out that's out with the UGA preview week, which is usually nothing but sadness for Dpalm.
It is what it is. I had to do it.
Right. Hey, listen. Hey, we all have to make sacrifices. What's the second? And people already probably heard this, but can you guys just give a rundown of podcast week? Because even if they haven't,
podcast week, sure. Day 1 was, like you said, the Georgia preview. Day 2 is our Power 5 preview, where I take 2 actual paid college football columnists and talk about the entire world of college football. It's a lot of fun. Wednesday, I broke down the AFC with Justin from the 3 podcast. He's a Titans fan, so I got to throw some sadness at him. Thursday, we had Nata the Scribe, formerly of ESPN, currently everywhere, who will let him write for them, discuss the over-unders for the NFC. And Friday, we had our final podcast of podcast week, as I broke down SummerSlam and all the pro wrestling ahead with some very special guests from PW Torch and our good friend Sam Franco.
Awesome. And again, by the time you hear this, we might have our Patreon up for live streaming. You'll notice that maybe even the video for this is up on YouTube, where you see my face and maybe Dpalm in a static box. We'll be getting more of this, hopefully. The last Insanity Check was on. Last few Insanity Checks have been on YouTube. So check us out. Go to mtrnetwork.net. Follow us on YouTube, MTR Network. Again, you can get this show, The Character Corner, all of our Character Corners, since we've done, we might be up to 30 now? 30 Character Corners we've done?
It's a lot.
It's been a lot. We started in 2015. We've done a lot of Character Corners. It's got to the point where The Defenders is coming out the week we're recording this. And I was like, man, usually we put an episode out before a Netflix show. And I'm like, oh, wait, we already did all the Defenders. So all I got to do is repost the episodes we already did.
It was back in the rotation. Let's do this.
We just put it back in the rotation. So you can find it there. Again, Character Corner. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. We'll read it on air next time we're there. You can get us on Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, YouTube. And if you're on the website, join the newsletter. There's a little box for you to join it on the sidebar. And also join our Facebook group, MTR Network. Go to the group. We have a page and a group. Join the group. You know, we don't talk politics on there, even though I know we have the Insanity Check. But we talk about sports, everything else but politics, honestly. If it's not politics, we talk about it. Even Sci-Fi Bro is becoming a thing in the group. So we have a lot of fun. Join the Facebook group. And, yeah, folks, enjoy. And, enjoy reading Hawkman. Hopefully you guys have more fun listening to this than we had fun reading it. So
Geoff Johns.
Yeah, just
read Geoff Johns.
Just read the Geoff Johns. Well, actually,
read the JSA Return of Hawkman, and then read that entire Hawkman run, and then drink cyanide before you ever think of touching 52 Hawkman. Yeah, just like you said. Because even beyond the Geoff Johns stuff, I think the entire Volume 4 stuff and into Hawkgirl does pretty good. I mean, that entire run is a really good run. So and the GSA stuff as well. So yeah, folks. And again, we'll have the links to our GSA Character Corner and the Black Adam Character Corner, which my Black Adam one is still my favorite one. Black Adam was right. I had to read because when we did this, I had to read Black Rain again. I didn't have to read Black Rain again, but I did read Black Rain again. And when I read Black Rain, I then have to read World War III, and I'm just like, God damn it, this dude was fucking. He's not wrong. Like, they killed his family. What are you supposed to do? Like, yeah, he killed 2 billion people, but they had it coming. Yeah, they shouldn't have fucked with him.
Hey, leave a man and his family alone.
Maybe Ashi just lets him the fuck alone. It's like when somebody's with my dog, what do I invariably say? What'd you do to the dog?
Right. Just saying. What's going on? So anyway, folks, guys, thank you guys very much for listening. Till next time, we're out of here. Peace.